Welcome to the deep dive. We're so glad you're here with us today because we're getting into a topic that affects, well, literally every single one of us
Yeah, every single day.
every day. We're looking at some excerpts from a really fascinating guide called Mastering Money and Language, a guide to financial literacy. And our mission today is to unpack 8 small, highly actionable habits.
Right, because there is this massive, frustrating gap between knowing financial theory in your head
Oh, yeah.
and actually feeling in control of your money in real life.
And what makes this material so compelling is how it ties our financial behaviors to the specific language we use.
Exactly. I mean, this isn't about complex economic theory or, Wall Street jargon.
Gratefully.
Right. It's about the everyday psychology of how money moves through your life, and more importantly, how you talk to yourself about it.
Okay, let's unpack this with a scenario from the reading that is just painfully relatable.
I know exactly the one you mean.
Right. So picture this. You're holding your phone. You're about to open your banking app. What's the very first feeling in your body?
Panic.
Yeah. Are you relaxed? Are you curious? Or is it that tiny, dreadful feeling of like, oh no,
Oh no, feeling.
you know the one, sweaty palms, little tightness in the chest? For so many people, you're just bracing for impact.
It's a completely visceral reaction, and what's so validating about this text is that it acknowledges you're absolutely not alone in that dread.
Mm-hmm.
There's this great profile in the material of a professional who actually had a formal background in finance, admitting they felt this exact same way.
Which is wild to think about.
It really is. On paper, they looked highly educated, completely responsible, and capable of talking about money in theory.
But in real life,
In real life, looking at their own screen on a Friday after payday, total panic. They looked at their balance and thought, wait, how is this number already so low? Who spent this?
only to realize, of course it was them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the ultimate disconnect, right? Looking
Yeah.
like you have it completely together, but feeling like a mess behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And that's how we need to redefine true financial literacy. It's not about knowing intimidating terminology or running complex Excel models.
No, not at all.
Financial literacy simply means understanding how money moves in your daily life. It's knowing what comes in, what goes out, why it happens, and ultimately achieving actual peace of mind.
Exactly. It's the shift from passing a multiple choice test on economics to actually understanding your own behavior.
Right.
You don't need a finance degree to get there. You just need simple repeating habits. That's where we really start confronting the reality of our spending.
Which brings us right into the first major habit, which is aligning your money with your values.
This one is tough.
It is. The authors ask a really piercing question. If we paused your life right now and asked what truly matters to you, what would you say?
You'd probably say things like family, health, learning.
Maybe community or travel?
Yeah.
But then, if we looked at your bank statement for the last 30 days, what would it say your priorities are?
It's a harsh mirror to look into.
Really harsh.
Because we live in an environment that constantly nudges us toward discretionary spending.
Right, those non-essential purchases.
Yeah, the things that just slowly bleed our accounts dry. You might say your health is your absolute top priority, but your bank statement says your priority is food delivery apps.
Oh, wow.
Or targeted Instagram ads for random gadgets and incredibly expensive artisanal coffee.
I have to admit, I did this exercise myself last week.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
I looked at my discretionary spending, and let's just say the amount of money I spent on takeout when I had a fridge full of groceries was a serious wake-up call.
It happens to all of us.
It's so easy to trick yourself into thinking you're living by your values when your money is telling a completely different story.
It really is. This raises an important question, though. Why do we do it? Why is there such a massive gap between our stated values and our actual spending?
Yeah, why is that?
Behaviorally, it's because our stated values require long-term thinking, but our spending is usually driven by short-term emotional regulation.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
We're stressed, we're tired, and buying something offers an immediate, albeit temporary, dopamine hit.
So the actionable step here is incredibly straightforward. You sit down and write out 3 to 5 things that genuinely matter to you.
Just 3 to 5.
Right. Then you look at your last month of spending and ask, does my money actually line up with these values?
And you don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight.
No, not at all. The goal is just to move even a small percentage of that discretionary spending toward what actually matters.
Yeah.
When your money and your values start moving in the same direction, that underlying financial anxiety immediately starts to drop.
But let's be realistic, doing it just once isn't going to stick.
Sure.
If you only look at your values once, you'll forget them by next Tuesday when you're exhausted after work. You need a system to confront your reality regularly, which leads directly to the second habit, the monthly money check-in.
I really appreciate how they frame this. They call it a coffee date with your bank account, not a horror movie.
I love that framing.
Me too. It's just 30 minutes once a month. Your phone is on silent. It's just you, your numbers, and maybe a cup of tea. It takes the fear out of the process.
Right, you're changing the environment and the context. And during this coffee date, there are 3 vital questions you have to ask yourself.
Okay, what's the first one?
First, where did my money actually go this month? You aren't guessing. You're looking at the cold, hard reality of the statement, but, and this is crucial, without attacking or judging yourself.
That is so hard to do.
It is, but you're just observing the data.
That non-judgmental part is necessary, though. If you beat yourself up every time you look at your app, your brain will just train you to avoid looking at the app entirely.
Exactly. You'll just reinforce the dread. Once you have the data, the second question is, did my choices move me closer to my goals or further away?
Oof, that one can be deeply uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable, but that discomfort is where actual behavioral change starts.
Right.
And third, what is one small focus for the next 30 days? Not 5 massive lifestyle overhauls, just one simple focus.
Like deciding to meal prep twice a week.
Yes, or putting an extra $50 toward a specific credit card.
This 30-minute ritual is what stops people from sleepwalking through their financial lives.
Totally.
It's the exact mechanism that prevents that terrifying paycheck-to-paycheck cycle where almost all your salary is gone before the next one arrives.
Emotionally, it's a massive transition. You're
Yeah.
shifting from feeling like a scared kid hiding from your money to an adult sitting at the table taking responsibility.
But even when you're sitting at the adult table, human willpower is incredibly finite.
It really is.
Yeah.
By day 15 of the month, you're exhausted, and decision fatigue sets in.
Yeah.
That's why the next step relies on taking willpower out of the equation completely. This is habit 3, automating the basics.
Now, automating sounds great in theory, but I had to play devil's advocate for a second.
Okay, go for it.
For someone who is living paycheck to paycheck, isn't there a very real fear of overdrafting if an automated payment hits on the wrong day? Handing over control to an automated system can feel terrifying when your margins are razor thin.
That's a very valid fear, and it's why the timing of automation is everything.
Timing is the key.
Exactly. The strategy isn't to set random dates throughout the month. The strategy is to align your automated transfers for your rent, fixed bills, and a small savings contribution to happen within 24 to 48 hours after your payday.
Ah, okay.
You're capitalizing on the moment when your account is at its highest point.
Okay, that makes total sense. You're making one smart decision when you have the mental bandwidth and letting the system repeat it for you. You're basically taking care of future you.
Exactly. In behavioral economics, we talk a lot about friction. Usually, friction is the enemy. It's what stops us from going to the gym or eating healthy. But with money, we want to remove the friction for doing the right thing, like saving and paying bills, and add friction to the bad habits.
Make it hard to do the wrong thing.
Yes. By putting your critical tasks on autopilot, you're essentially removing the cognitive load. You don't have to remember. You don't have to debate whether you can afford it.
The money is routed where it needs to go before you even have a chance to spend it on something else.
Exactly.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because you can automate your bills and you can understand your values, but there's a massive trap that so many of us fall into.
Oh, the learning trap.
Yes, especially people who love consuming content. It's what's described as being a compulsive money learner. And that brings us to habit 5, becoming a doer, not just a learner.
This is such a common modern pitfall.
It really is.
It's a form of productive procrastination. You're the person who watches hours of financial YouTube videos, reads all the Reddit threads, listens to the podcasts, saves all the Instagram carousels.
And then goes to sleep and changes absolutely nothing about your actual life.
Exactly.
You get the exact same dopamine hit from learning about saving money as you would from actually saving money.
The trick.
Yeah. Your brain feels so busy and so proud because you consumed all this educational content, but your bank account is exactly the same as it was yesterday.
Right.
You're totally confusing the consumption of information with taking meaningful action.
And what's fascinating here is how our brains trick us into feeling a false sense of accomplishment.
It really does.
To short-circuit that, there's a hard and fast rule you have to adopt. For every single new thing you learn about money, you must take one small action on the exact same day.
I love that rule.
True financial literacy isn't built on your video watch history. It's built on tiny, concrete, compound actions.
So if you watch a video about hidden bank fees, you don't just like the video and scroll to the next one.
No.
You open your app right then, call customer service, and see if you can remove a fee.
Right.
If you hear a deep dive about budgeting, you grab a piece of paper and draft a basic plan just for the upcoming weekend. It's about proving to yourself with physical evidence that you're a doer.
And once you start actually doing, you'll inevitably run into situations where you suddenly have a little extra money.
That's a good problem to have.
It is. Maybe it's a bonus at work, a tax refund, or just an unexpectedly low utility bill. Habit 4 tackles this exact scenario, treating extra money differently.
Oh, the classic problem of money burning a hole in your pocket.
We all know that feeling.
It perfectly describes that overwhelming, almost physical urge to spend unexpected cash the second it lands in your account. The moment you see those extra numbers, your brain whispers, "We deserve a treat."
It's a phenomenon called mental accounting.
Okay, break that down.
We tend to value money differently depending on where it came from. Money we worked hard for in our normal paycheck feels serious.
Right.
But a bonus or a tax refund, our brain categorizes that as house money or fun money, which makes us incredibly reckless with it.
We treated it like a free pass. It's like a toddler screaming to be spent on clothes or an expensive dinner.
The psychological shift required here is moving from thinking only about now to thinking about now and later.
Okay.
When you get extra money, the habit is to pause and refuse to ask, what can I buy right now? Instead, you ask, what small part of this can I keep to build a buffer for future me?
So you're changing your default response from immediate consumption to long-term stabilization.
Exactly.
You stop treating every unexpected dollar like a piece of candy to be eaten immediately and start treating at least a portion of it like a seed.
A seed,
A
yes.
seed you plant to buy yourself a little more breathing room next month,
But planting that seed often requires saying no to things in the present.
which is hard.
Very hard.
Right.
And that leads directly to habit 7, changing the fundamental meaning of the word no.
This dives deep into the internal conflict we all face.
Right.
We desperately want to avoid financial stress down the road, but we also want to enjoy our lives today.
And society tells us that if we aren't buying the newest thing or going to the expensive dinner, we're failing.
Yeah, that we're missing out.
So when we force ourselves to say no to a purchase, we feel totally deprived.
You can look incredibly successful on the outside, posting photos of your vacations and your outfits, and still feel completely hollow and restricted on the inside because you're stressed about how you're paying for it all.
To combat this, we have to radically reframe the concept of being frugal.
How so?
Well, often people hear the word frugal and they instantly associate it with being cheap, boring, or lacking abundance.
Yeah, it has a negative connotation.
But a truly financially literate person redefines frugality as an act of profound self-respect.
I love that shift in perspective. It's not deprivation at all.
Exactly. Saying no to an impulsive, expensive dinner isn't a punishment. It's saying yes to having less fear at the end of the month.
Wow.
You aren't telling yourself, I don't deserve this nice dinner. You're telling yourself, I deserve not to be terrified of my credit card statement in 3 weeks.
That is powerful.
You're buying future freedom, which is vastly more valuable than a fleeting present moment indulgence.
But if you're continually saying no to the random impulsive stuff, what are you supposed to be saying yes to?
That's the logical next question.
Well, habit 8 gives us the answer. Investing in skills over stuff. Because, let's be honest, a massive portion of our discretionary income is spent trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yes, keeping up with the Joneses is that exhausting, endless treadmill of trying to buy the same things your neighbors, friends, or the influencers you follow online have.
Just purely so you don't feel inferior.
Right. From an evolutionary standpoint, it makes sense. It's tribal signaling. We want to show the tribe we belong and that we hold status.
But financially, it's a disaster.
A total disaster.
Because there's always someone with a nicer car or better kitchen renovation.
Always.
So to break that cycle, there's a brilliant litmus test for any major purchase. Before you hit buy or hand over your card, you take a deep breath and ask yourself, will this still matter to me in 3 years?
That 3-year rule is incredibly powerful.
It cuts right through the noise.
It does. If you're buying a designer jacket just to impress people at a party, the answer is almost certainly no.
Right.
The dopamine hit of a physical purchase usually fades within 48 hours.
Yeah.
But if you spend that same money on a skill, say a public speaking workshop, a coding boot camp, or even just a stack of truly educational books, the answer is a resounding yes.
Because skills compound.
Exactly.
They don't wear out or go out of style after a season. They open doors to new jobs, better projects, and a much deeper sense of inner confidence.
You're keeping promises to your future self rather than trying to impress strangers today.
Deep breath. Put the phone down, walk away from the shopping cart, and invest in your own brain instead.
But to pull all of this off, to automate, to say no, to check in on your values, you have to overcome one final massive hurdle.
What's that?
Habit 6, breaking the money taboo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might be the hardest one for a lot of people.
Without a doubt.
In so many cultures and families, money is heavily stigmatized. It's completely taboo. You can joke with your friends about your dating life, your health issues, your family drama.
Actual numbers.
Right, your salary, your credit card debt. Everyone instantly clams up.
Because there is so much shame and secrecy wrapped up in our net worth. The professional we mentioned earlier, the one who was secretly panicking over their banking app,
Yeah.
they admitted they felt entirely isolated. They thought, everyone else seems to understand this effortlessly. I must be the only one who is this confused.
And so out of shame, they just stayed quiet.
Exactly.
And the tragic irony is that almost everyone else is secretly panicking too.
Most people are.
The truth is, most people aren't foolish with their money. They're just scared and operating in the dark.
Right.
And the only way to break that fear is to have small, honest conversations with people you genuinely trust. Not to show off, and definitely not to compare salaries, but just to learn.
It's about demystifying the mechanics of it all. Simply asking a friend over coffee, hey, I'm trying to get better at this. How do you plan your budget?
Or what app do you use to track your expenses?
Yeah, asking those questions can be incredibly liberating. It breaks the illusion that everyone else has it perfectly figured out.
And if you share finances with a partner, it is absolutely vital to get on the same page with them.
Oh, absolutely.
That means sitting down, looking at the same numbers, and agreeing on the plan moving forward. When you're on the same page, you stop fighting with each other over every little $20 purchase, and you start fighting together for the same long-term goal.
You have to stop hiding.
You just need to choose one safe person and ask one real question.
It's bringing money out of the shadows. When you combine that honesty with the systems we've talked about, the automation, the check-ins, the reframing of the word no, you completely rewrite your relationship with your finances.
So what does this all mean? When we step back and look at all these habits, the biggest takeaway is that managing your money isn't about some dramatic overnight leap into extreme wealth.
Not at all.
It's absolutely not about hitting a quick jackpot or discovering a secret investment trick. It's about a series of small, unglamorous, repeating habits.
That's it.
It's having one honest check in a month. It's setting up automated payments so your exhausted, decision-fatigued brain doesn't sabotage you.
Right.
It's having a few brave moments where you tell yourself no to an impulse buy and choosing to spend on your own skills instead of accumulating more stuff to impress people you barely know.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, applying these concepts fundamentally changes your role in your own life.
How so?
You stop being a passive victim of your bank account, constantly wondering where your money went. You step into the role of the main character of your own financial story, armed with true peace of mind.
I love that.
And frankly, that peace of mind is the ultimate, truest goal of financial literacy. It's not a number in an account. It's the absence of panic.
We want to encourage you right now, today, to take just one small step. Remember the rule. If you learn something, you have to take action the exact same day.
The exact same.
Maybe it's opening your banking app for just 5 minutes and looking at the numbers without judging yourself. Or maybe it's grabbing a pen and writing down your top 3 life priorities.
Yeah.
Then checking your last 10 purchases to see if they actually match. Just pick one tiny thing and do it today.
And as you think about which step you're going to take right now, I want to leave you with this final thought. We discussed how your bank statement is the truest, most unfiltered reflection of your actual priorities.
Yeah.
And we talked about applying the 3-year test to the things you buy. If you were to start applying that 3-year test to every single discretionary purchase starting today, ruthlessly cutting out the noise and investing only in what truly matters,
What happens next?
What will the story of your bank statement say about who you are exactly 1 year from now?